Today I am going to take a look at Shadows in Kyoto. This game, made by Emperor S4, is a game for 2 players in which you are going to be spies for the government and spies for the secret organization that are going to try to outmaneuver each other. Are you excited to see how the game works? I'm going to, of course, explain it to you first, and then I'm going to give my vision if this game is any fun and if you should get this game. In Shadows of Kyoto, there are 3 ways to win. The first way to win is by capturing the 2 opponents that have real intelligence, which can be recognized by the 2 red pips, and those are these 2, by capturing them from your opponent. The second way to win is by getting one of your real spies with real intelligence to the other side. So like this. And the third way to win is by confusing your opponent and letting them capture 3 of the 4 spies that don't have real intelligence. This you're going to do by the use of your movement and your tactics deck, which is the same for both players. At the start of the game, you're going to draw 4 cards of your movement deck and 2 cards of your tactics deck. I'm going to explain the cards in the tactics deck later. First, we're going to focus on the movement. So, let's say you drew these 4 cards. When you want to move, you're going to select one of your pawns, and the way they're going to move is like this. So let's say you want to move this spy that is a 1. You are going to be able to move them to the 3 spots in front of them. They're not allowed to move backwards, and they're also not allowed to move horizontally. So they can only get to these 3. When you want to move to one of those 3 spots, you have to have the corresponding color of the spot you want to move to. So with this card, we could move this one to here. You also have some wild cards that look like this, and they say wild on the side, and those are able to be used for all spots on the board. You have some special spots on the board, like this one, that's a neutral zone, and any color can be used to go there. And every player also has 2 headquarters that are here and here, and here and here. And those, only the player of that color can move onto those spots, and they can use any color to go there. So, how are you going to capture your opponents? This you're going to do by getting on the same spot as one of your opponents. So, I could use this red card to move my 3 on this place. When that happens, a battle is going to happen. This is going to get down like this. You're going to check the number of the opponent. If that number is lower or the same as your attacker, you win. And you capture the opponent, hooray! So, in case that you would have tried to capture this one, you would also win, because you are the attacker, and in case of a tie, the attacker wins. There's one exception to the rule. If with your 3 you capture the 0, the 0 is going to win, and your 3 is going to be knocked out. This is only in case if you are the attacker of the 0, and not if the 0 attacks the 3. And it's only with the 3 that this special rule applies. Besides the movements deck, you also have the tactics deck, which is going to give you some special actions. I'm going to show a couple of those. So, you have something like swap. In case of a swap, you can swap with one of your other pawns that is in the same line or in the same row. You have also defend. In case you use defend, you are allowed to move horizontally or backwards. Of every tactics card, there are 2 in the deck. You also have something like tunnel, which allows you to move as far as you want horizontally, and a couple of other tactic cards. When you did your move, you can also you could use a move card, or you can use a tactics card in your turn. When your turn is over, you can choose to either get one of extra movement or an extra tactic card. So you can choose yourself what kind of deck you want to build. To make the game more asymmetrical, there are a couple of options. The first option you have is by picking a leader for your team. So you have the green leaders and you have the yellow leaders, and you also have some neutral ones which can be used by both teams, and they are unique. The other thing you can do to make the game more asymmetrical are these cards. So these are for the green and these are for the yellow player. They're going to be not activated at the start of the game, but when certain pawns of you get captured, you are allowed to flip one of them, and you are able to use that power until the end of the game. So what did I think about Shadows in Kyoto? The first thing I really want to point out is the beautiful artwork. It just really looks so great. All those cards have such great artwork. And the thing that I also really liked about this game, which is pretty unique, sadly these days still, is the fact that there are only women in this game. You have these unique women on the one side and the unique spy women on the other side, and they're all beautifully dressed. They are not like in chainmail bikinis. So I really was very surprised when I saw this aspect when I first played this game. The meeples are very cool. There are these cute little geisha meeples with the pins in their hair. And the production quality of this game is just superb. The cards are very thick cardstock. The artwork is great. So depending on that, I really like the game. How does the game actually play? I found it like a combination between Onitama and Stratego, where you have like these your secret meeples, and the other player doesn't really know what the meeple is, what number the meeple is that you put in front of them. So that's like the Stratego aspect of it, and of course the 0 that is going to beat the highest number 3 when the 3 attacks the 0. And the Onitama thing, where you have like the cards and you can only move to a certain spot if you have the correct number. I actually like this game better than Onitama, and this is for the fact that you can make it as asymmetrical as you want. You can just play the vanilla version, in which you are practically the same, and in this case it resembles Onitama the most, but the game gets really exciting and shines the most when you actually use those special powers of your leaders. You are going to be able to pick one for yourself, or you are going to pick one at random, and they just feel very unique, all of them, and they also feel like very powerful. You're like, oh, this is just so great that I'm going to be able to do this, and your opponent is going to feel the same way about their powers. So that's really cool. And so every game is going to be different depending on what kind of leader you have for this game, and you're going to be able to do all these different tactics depending on what kind of leader you choose. And even when you're not satisfied with the asymmetrical gameplay with just playing the leaders, you can even do all these extra cards that I showed you, these extra equipment cards that you are going to be able to use, and these are also unique for the faction that you are going to play, so it makes the game even more asymmetrical. And I really like that about the game, that you can make it, you can suit it to your own kind of game style, the way you want it to play. The game also plays very fast because of the 3 different objectives. Before you know it, you're on the other side, or you already have one of the 2 spies with the real intelligence, or your opponent unfortunately got your fake spies. So it's very interesting, like this movement between, am I going to put my 3 out there, but maybe then I'm going to hit the bomb that I don't want to go for, or am I going to stay a little bit behind and just let my opponent do the attacking. So all in all, I really liked Shadows in Kyoto because of the very interesting theme, the very beautiful artwork, and how interesting the gameplay was, and how you can adapt it to your own game style. I really recommend Shadows in Kyoto if you want a really great, very little and portable game that you're going to be able to play with your boyfriend or your girlfriend. So that is Shadows in Kyoto.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.